So for example, here if you try to observe here, change title, this one is there, right? For example, so here we are trying to send the post data, right? So we are trying to send the post data. Now when we are trying to send the post data, so where we are having, this is the post change we are having, right? So now let's say that I will send some, this is an object. We know that this post data is an object. It consists of ID, title, description, whatever the values we are having. So here you can use some string value. I am trying to send the string value, but here we are trying to do some logic operations. So index.title, so like this single post.id, like this we are thinking that it is an object and we are trying to check the properties in that object. But actually what we are trying to send in the custom event is not an object, it is a string. Let's see what will happen. So here if I am trying to do it in the console, so you will get an error automatically. Okay, when I click here, so now what is happening? Oh, okay, let's try to refresh it once. Yeah, when I click here, automatically we got an error. So undefined, we cannot say able to set the title. Why? Because we are trying to change, now we are trying to send the string data, but it is trying to do index and all those things, it is trying to do it. So we got an error. So now what we need to do is, so we can validate, we can write a validation to this data, emit data. So how we can write it is, so this in this emits, you can write an object. Okay, so for this post hyphen change, so this one, right? Post hyphen changed, this one, all right? Yeah, post hyphen changed. So here I can write, this is a function. So this receives a post. This receives a post. And in this post, so if post.id is present, ampersand, post.description is present, ampersand, post.title is present. So if three properties are present, then return true, or otherwise return false. Okay, so this is the thing which I want to do. So now these are present. So now if I try to use this one, so now we will be able to get an error. Let's try to see it. If I am trying to click here, so here I am able to see that invalid event arguments, event validation failed for the event. So here we are able to get invalid event argument. Now if I try to send this dot post data, okay, let's see, refresh, and I will try to click. So now we are not able to get any error. So now we are able to write the validation for that one. And for example, if there is no title present in this one, then also you'll get an invalid thing. And another one what I want to tell you is, for example, so now here we are having only three properties. We are able to check with ampersand like this. Tomorrow if we have so many properties, then what I need to do? So we can also do it. So how can we do it is, so just I will try to tell you the scenario how we will be implementing. So services. So in the TypeScript we will be having an interface and we can use the interface and we can do it easily. But in the JavaScript it is little bit tricky. So I will try to show you. So how generally we will try to use it. So post service.js I can use it, and here I can have export function post. So here I can take the ID, title, and description. So it will take parameters like this, and this dot id is equal to constructor function I am creating. Sorry, id, and this dot title is equal to title, and this dot description equal to description. So this is the constructor function. And now here what I can do is, so we can import this constructor function, import, so post from, so here we need to use services. So where is this services? Services slash, so post service. So I can use it like this. Now this post I can check something like if post instance of post. So I can check it like this, right? So I can check it like this. So post service, we are having post, right? Yeah. So post instead of post means then we can do it. So here what I can do, instead of sending this dot post data, so let post data is equal to new post we need to send the title. So this dot post data dot id, this dot post data dot title, and this dot post data dot description. So we need to send this post data. Instead of sending that one, we need to send this instance. For example, let's say that I am not sending this instant. Let's see what will happen. So if I refresh this page, if I click on this one, see, we are able to get an error that invalid event argument, event validation failed. So this one takes the instance of the post, not the object. So as this one is an object, fine, so correct, it will work. But we are writing the validation in such a way that it should be an instance of post constructor function. So what I can do, instead of sending that value, so we can send this data. Okay, now this one will work. So you will get a warning here. So here, if you try to write it here, so now everything will work fine. So without getting any error. So now everything is working fine. So like this also we can do it. So these are some of the changes which we will try to do it. So instead of using this all ID and all those things, we can create a function, constructor function, and we can use this constructor function wherever we want it, the post data, and we can use the same thing here. Instance of post means then only we can send it. So that means now we are able to understand that all the time when the event, custom event is emitted, this custom event, so we can assume that this one returns an instance of the post. So this is how the validation in the custom events will be done.